Hello and welcome back to my little vlog mastering help thing. I recorded this one already, but for some reason OBS thinks I'm trying to stream and keeps cutting me off. So if anybody can put in the comments something which explains a better way of doing this or a better program. I'm just recording this on a little webcam thing, Logitech thing. So yeah, anything that's plug and play, let me know. Put that in the comments. So yeah, I've already said this once, so let me just rephrase everything I've said already in the software threw away. This topic I want to discuss is the output level issue with mastering and the myth of the pre-masters must be at minus X dBs headroom. And we're talking about the level between 0 dBFS, which is like the loudest you can go, and where your mix should be sitting. Now, what happened at the start of online mastering and people sending stuff around as files was that DAWs didn't really have real adequate output level metering and output sections. So often people would be accidentally exporting their audio at a level which is too hot and will result in a clip or several clips or like completely shredded out audio. And it was through no fault really of the user, but as home production and working at in your box and everything is more and more normal, this became more of an issue. So mastering engineers started putting on the websites, please make sure that you are exporting at this. And I did it as well, and plenty of other people still do, and that's absolutely fine. Now, things have changed, and there's plenty of brilliant DAWs and free plugins, hundreds of them in fact, that can show you your output level, and there's also separate master bus areas now on DAWs, where it used to be a lot more just the Wild West when it comes to that. So what I'm trying to put across is that a mastering engineer should be able to receive anything at any level, really. The most important thing is that you are exporting it the way that you want it to be. What I mean by this is if you want it to be really, really hot and into a limiter or whatever, and at 0, and that's the sound that you like, that's absolutely fine. There are times where that might not work very well, like for example for vinyl. And in that situation, a mastering engineer should be able to come back to you and say, oh, can we get a separate pre-master for this? I'll work with this. I get that that's the sound you're going for. But I have some concerns about the vinyl, and they will be able to do a separate version that to your ears should sound pretty similar. That's what they're there for. The ways, as someone who's mixing and producing, to check this stuff, there's basically 2 techniques. One is what we call gain staging, which is where you set your sessions in your DAW up so that you're never going to go beyond a point that you are losing control, essentially. Now that might be that you want to mix into a plugin or a limiter or a compressor or ozone or something like that. But it also might be that you don't want to do that and that you actually want to avoid clipping, because it sounds bad and it's not what you're going for. So I'm not going to go into the gain staging stuff. There are loads of YouTube videos about that are well worth looking into. Again, I recommend Dan Worrell's stuff. And there's some free plugins and stuff that will give you analysis beyond any DAW for checking this stuff. The second technique is the one that I think is more important, and is important because it allows you, as the person who's preparing the pre-master, for someone like me, to have real control over your audio. And that is the technique of loading stuff back into the DAW after you've exported it. So I would suggest that when you're mixing or producing or exporting your tunes, you put in, as part of your process, a wait, preferably a sleep, go to bed and then listen to it the next day, where you export stuff or you export versions, and then you load them back into a DAW, you line them all back up, and then you have a listen to them and have a look at them, because this is what we call QC. You can look at the levels, you can use some meters to check stuff, you can see if there's any clipping, you can analyze whether or not the limiter, clipper, compressor, whatever tape emulation you're mixing into is benefiting the sound or not, because you can do a bounce with and without. And you really need to be fresh-eared, literally, fresh-eared, fresh-minded, without your ears being tired, because your ears do tire and it changes the EQ. Your brain tires and that changes the EQ and the compression. That sounds like a strange thing to say, but it's true. Your brain is essentially an audio processor in that respect. And then you can have the confidence of what you want to send. It could be 2 versions, it could be 1 version, it could be 1 ultimate version, which I prefer generally, but there are reasons to send versions. To have confidence sending stuff onto the mastering engineer. And like I've made clear in the other videos, I think that any situation where you're confident and you're in control and you know what you've got is going to give you a better mastering result. And it's going to make communication with the mastering engineer easier. It's going to make you more relaxed during the process of getting your music mastered, and that's going to give you a better overall result. So these are all just little techniques which cost nothing. They give you a better understanding. You level up as an engineer, producer, artist, musician, whatever, and they will do, this is the difference between the mastering coming out good or bad, this sort of stuff, and you thinking, I really liked that result, and it is literally just a couple of 20 minutes, sit down, watch a video, and be like, right, I work in this DAW, I'm going to set it up this way, save it as a template, and then forget about it. So I'm really just trying to give you techniques to be in control and to be confident. And I hope this helps. I hope I haven't missed anything because of OBS destroying my last video, RIP. And like I should have said in all the videos said previously, if you're enjoying this, like, subscribe, comment, algorithms. I don't really know how this works. Interesting sub fact, my brother is a YouTuber, so I might have to ask him about what I'm doing wrong and send these videos. He's a synth YouTuber, Oscillator Sync, for anybody who's into that sort of stuff. Yeah, so click all the buttons and make me famous on YouTube. Actually, don't do that. Just make me famous enough to reach the right people. I don't really want bots on my thing. Or people telling me that I'm an evil person for disagreeing with them, like YouTube comments usually are. Anyway, cheers, more videos to come. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.